Hey there, and welcome to your special holiday weekend edition of The Mini Nerve. This is a truly special one. This one has been a long time coming. Again, we are a baby show. We are in month 3, which is wild. But I've been thinking about this from the very beginning. And now, Troublemakers, is the time. It is time for Oprah Winfrey. Dark Oprah. Dark, destructive force, in my opinion. The ultimate cult leader, in my opinion. Now, we had a lot to choose from for this mini because there are examples throughout the culture, throughout the decades that she's been on the scene. We've been living with her for a very long time, many of us. Some of us, we're younger and you may not know the Oprah of yore, but that's for another episode. I'm sure we'll get to it again. But for this one, I really thought, okay, let's not go to the well of the things that we already know that we've been way too familiarized with. Harry and Meghan, that interview, we've been there, we've done that. The Maui, the panhandling after the fires, typical Oprah. Her gluttonous materialism, we know all about it. The self-help hucksters that she's responsible for. We touched on that in Friday's Nerve. But for right now, we're going to keep it lean and mean because this was a no-brainer after the Bezos-Sanchez wedding. That obscenity, the foam parties. I mean, I don't think she was at the foam parties, but like all those celebrities befouling Venice, a crumbling ancient city, an important city, to celebrate this bullshit. And she's there getting her sneakers tied by Gayle King, who Oprah is also responsible for, okay? And her good pal Diddy is skating in court this week. Oprah's got a lot to answer for, a lot. And Oprah loves to paint herself as the champion for girls and women. And we are going to hang her with her own words in just a moment. Now, remember, Oprah Winfrey was great pals with Harvey Weinstein, Sean Diddy Combs, Epstein. She has links to Epstein. She's one of the smartest women on the planet, a self-made billionaire, but she would have you and I believe that she didn't know about any of these guys. Okay. So I'm going to quote right now. It's hard to find because people like Oprah, I'm not saying that I know this for a fact, but like my supposition would be that she's got a dedicated team scrubbing shit that runs counter to her narrative off of the internet. So they didn't get to this one. It's a Quinnipiac Chronicle article dated October 1st, 2024. The headline, Oprah Winfrey, always at the scene of the crime, written by Gabriela Vilos Boas. Now, this is, of course, in the aftermath of so many Me Too explosions. Winfrey's name interlaced with numerous criminals such as Harvey Weinstein, Diddy, and Epstein. Okay. Actress Katie Noble claimed that Weinstein used Winfrey, quote, swinging off his arm to dupe her into going back with him to his hotel room, according to Entertainment Weekly. However, once Weinstein's crimes became public knowledge, Winfrey distanced herself from the situation without directly addressing her relationship with him. If we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, Winfrey told CBS, then we will have lost this moment. What kind of bullshit answer is that? Winfrey's former friend, Seal, the singer Seal, took to Instagram to call her out for her behavior. Seal, quote, "You have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution." Wonder why. Seal continues, "Oh, I forgot. That's right. You'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially assaulting young starry-eyed actresses. My bad." The post was accompanied with a photo of Winfrey kissing Weinstein on the cheek. Another issue that follows Winfrey wherever she goes is, oh, by the way, this also notes that she attended Diddy's infamous parties and was featured 5 times in the files from the Epstein trial. To be clear, legally, there has never been any evidence that Oprah Winfrey knew anything about what Epstein was up to or what was going on with those girls and women. Okay, I'm just making that clear. And I'm reading again from this article in the Quinnipiac Chronicle. Another issue that follows Winfrey wherever she goes is the controversy of her school in South Africa, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls. This school was built as a safe haven for disadvantaged girls in grades 8 through 12. However, it has proven to be anything but. Multiple students accused dormitory matron Virginia Makopo, if I'm saying that correctly, of abuse and assault. She was arrested in November 2007 and released on bail, according to Reuters. CBC claims that Makopo faced 14 charges involving indecent acts with underage students. Following this trial, Winfrey was sued by the headmistress of the South African girls' school for defamation. Winfrey was accused of defaming this woman by implying that she was covering up the abuse going on at the school. This case was later settled out of court. Interesting. However, the controversy of Winfrey's South African school does not end there. Speculation of numerous missing girls from the academy spread like wildfire across social media. However, the validity of these statements has not been confirmed or denied. Winfrey and her team have remained silent on the matter. And it seems that any articles raising concern over this situation are scrubbed from the internet. Now, we are going to go, because this is so relevant in the wake of this Diddy verdict. And by the way, have we heard Oprah say one word? Anything? America's foremost advocate for girls and women, a survivor of abuse herself, she tells us. No, we're busy getting our fucking shoelaces tied by Gayle King over in Venice. Okay, now we're going to go to the Golden Globes in 2018. This was the year, and again, this is Harvey's been busted. Everybody knows. Now, everybody knows. Everybody in this room knew, but they're all acting like this is news to them. Oprah delivers this speech, this well-rehearsed, in my opinion, speech, upon receiving the Cecil B. DeMille Award for, quote, outstanding contributions to the world of entertainment. And I guess, that's one way to put it. So here we begin with Oprah's beginning salvo at the Golden Globes in 2018.
What I know for sure is that speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have. And I'm especially proud and inspired by all the women who have felt strong enough and empowered enough to speak up and share their personal stories.
There was Meryl nodding. Meryl, who, upon accepting one year, thanked Harvey. And then she called him, whoops, I meant God. Or vice versa, but whatever, the meaning's the same. Meryl's solemnly nodding with that sphinx-like smile. Yes. Oprah's saluting the girls and women brave enough to tell their stories. What about Cassie Ventura, you guys? What about her? Does she matter? What about Jane Doe? Does she matter? Because we've heard not a peep. Let's continue.
So I want tonight to express gratitude to all the women who have endured years of abuse and assault because they, like my mother, had children to feed and bills to pay and dreams to pursue.
So this is particularly ugly because I think that Oprah is none too subtly basically saying with that dreams to pursue line that it's a cost of doing business. And yeah, she might have been swinging off of Harvey's arm at parties and kissing him and, basically giving him her endorsement as the most trusted woman in America, right? And, you got dreams to pursue. What's a little sexual assault? What's a little rape? Are you fucking kidding me? And watch the expressions of these celebrities, some, especially the women, but some of the men too, as Oprah goes on about how great she fucking is in delivering this screed, this cri de coeur. this ode to how women aren't going to take this shit anymore, and Oprah's going to make sure they're not. And she's going to basically say that at the end of the speech. She's so full of shit. I think she's dark, you guys. I think she's dark. Here we go.
They're the women whose names we'll never know. They are domestic workers and farm workers. They are working in factories, and they work in restaurants, and they're in academia and engineering and medicine and science. They're part of the world of tech and politics and business. There are athletes in the Olympics, and there are soldiers in the military.
Look at some of those faces. Like Gina Davis is like, bitch, are you kidding me? You know, she starts off, Oprah starts off with like, they're farm workers, they're domestics. You know, first we start with like the poor women, right? The poor women, because there's no kind of valorization a Hollywood celebrity can give oneself than to utter and recognize that there are poor women in America whose names we'll never know and who lack what they have to get to greatness. And the one cohort she doesn't mention are the people in that room, men and women, because we know that men have been victims of sexual assault while trying to make it in Hollywood. Why not just say all the people in that room who probably found themselves up against it, you know, who maybe survived something or had to do something they didn't want to do? I don't know. I don't know why we're pretending that like it's only the people in that room, the morally bankrupt, largely people in that room led by the likes of Oprah fucking Winfrey who can lead this charge. I mean, again, the call is coming from inside the house. Okay, let's continue.
For too long, women have not been heard or believed if they dared to speak their truth to the power of those men.
Again, look at Angelina Jolie's face. I mean, she is another one who is like, are you fucking kidding me? For too long, Oprah says, women have not been believed, especially those who have dared to speak the truth to power of those men. Again, we just saw it with Cassie. We just saw it with this poor woman who gave birth. She was 9 months pregnant when she testified against Sean Combs, who she is petrified of. And she should be. He is a dangerous fucking guy. Oprah can shut the fuck up. All right, here we're gonna listen to Oprah lay down the law, and she's telling Hollywood and the media and politicians and everyone on planet Earth, these bad men, their time is up. That is it. Oprah's in charge, and you're going down.
But their time is up. Their time is up.
Their time is up. That was 2018. That was 7 years ago. Tell it to Sean Combs. Tell Sean Combs his time is up, Oprah. Tell all of his enablers, tell all those guys at the white parties, like, where's Ashton Kutcher, Diddy's great friend? You know, where's Jay-Z and Beyonce? Beyonce, that great feminist. Where's Gail? Gail, she's an astronaut. She's been to space. She's inspirational. Shouldn't she be talking out about this? If their time was up, she says their time is up, and all of these women stand. They give her a standing fucking ovation. For what? For what? Oprah has more to say.
In my career, what I've always tried my best to do, whether on television or through film, is to say something about how men and women really behave, to say how we experience shame, how we love and how we rage, how we fail, how we retreat, persevere, and how we overcome. And I've interviewed and portrayed people who've withstood some of the ugliest things life can throw at you.
I'm going to guess that those earrings cost between $80,000 and $120,000. So Oprah, is going to continue, that's the implication, her life's work at doing her best to help others without the power to overcome the worst that life can throw at you. Like this. Like that. Here's her message to all the girls of the world who Oprah's going to again ensure that we'll never have to suffer from the likes of a monster such as Harvey Weinstein, or, as we now know, one Sean Diddy Combs.
So I want all the girls watching here and now to know that a new day is on the horizon. And when that new day finally dawns, it will be because of a lot of magnificent women, many of whom are right here in this room tonight, and some pretty phenomenal men fighting hard to make sure that they become the leaders who take us to the time when nobody ever has to say, "Me too," again.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. We cannot allow the celebrity industrial media complex to dupe us into thinking that something like what Oprah just did there is mere entertainment, that it's a harmless speech at an award show that made a bunch of people feel good about themselves, because it's not. It's really dangerous, because after that speech, there were huge rumblings, huge, that Oprah should use it as her launch pad, as she surely intended, to run for president. I'm going to read from, I wrote a column in the aftermath of that because I was so highly alarmed by this hypocrisy and by all the people who suddenly came out of they were like, Oprah's got to be president. Oprah's got to be president. Oprah's got to be president. She's next. Okay. Jimmy Kimmel, after this speech, I'm on the bus with Oprah. Meryl Streep, I want her to run for president. Hamilton star Leslie Odom Jr. tweeted, she's running. A new day is on the way. A major network endorsed her. Quote, nothing but respect for our, in all caps, future president. A tweet on NBC's verified account that was quickly deleted. Oprah, who until Sunday night insisted she would never run for president, and I quoted, I will never run for public office, she told The Hollywood Reporter in October, that was mere months prior, is apparently having second thoughts. Her partner, Stedman Graham, told the LA Times, it's up to the people. She would absolutely do it. And as I said at the time, she should absolutely not. This is a woman who killed her own memoir. And she fairly recently, bought back the rights to her Apple documentary. I wonder why. It's all going to come out eventually, Oprah. Like, the damage wrought against the culture and this line of bullshit you're selling women, like holding yourself up as their warrior and their heroine, and you're going to be their fighter, and you're sitting mutely by while this monster in New York City federal court is getting off with a slap on the wrist for the beatings and the sexual trafficking that I consider it sexual trafficking, forcing these women into group sex and drugging them against their will and beating the shit out of them. And read Cassie's fucking civil complaint against him. He pummeled her in the face with his feet. He made her get breast implants and had them removed the next day and new ones put in, despite doctors warning him that it was incredibly dangerous. He is a monster. Yeah, sure, keep your mouth shut. Fucking hypocrite. And for her most recent crime against the culture, she brought a Scale King. Uselessness personified. Again, last seen tying the mighty Oprah's shoelaces at Jeff Bezos' wedding. And she is, to my mind, responsible for this.
Have y'all been to space? Have you been to space?
What an asshole. Have you been to space? Have you all been to space? I mean, I've been to space, but I would never shove it in your faces like that. I email you back. You know it. Anyway, that does it. That does it, sadly, for today's edition of the Mini Nerve. But again, I had a huge catharsis, and I hope you guys did too. I really do. I think we'll be revisiting Oprah. I do. I do. I think she's got a lot more to discuss. She's given us a lot. She's giving the culture a lot, just not in the way she thinks she is. Anyway, I hope you are all enjoying this holiday weekend. It's one of my favorites, July 4th. Enjoy it. I hope you're barbecuing and partying and at a beach or a pool or just enjoying a good book and a nap. We will see you back here on Tuesday, July 15th at The Nerve, where you will never guess what we're about to say next.